cold start damage silently drains over $3,000 from the average car owner, and most don't even see it coming. The worst part? Nearly 80% of these costly repairs are caused by everyday mistakes that are easy to avoid. Mechanics won't warn you that they profit from it. But not today. I'm breaking down 11 cold start mistakes that destroy your engine over time. And at the end, I'll reveal rare bonus tips, something smart drivers apply, but almost no one talks about. Let's dive in. Mistake number 11, blasting the heater immediately. It's freezing outside, so naturally you want that heater blasting. Toasty seats, warm air. It feels like instant comfort, right? There's a hidden cost under the hood. Cranking the heat right after starting the engine is working against your car. Your heater steals warmth straight from the engine's coolant. And your engine? It's still trying to warm up. The result? A longer warm-up time, sluggish oil, and cold combustion, resulting to more stress on every moving part under the hood. When you blast the heat too early, you're pulling precious heat away before the engine even gets going. That slows down everything. The oil flow, fuel efficiency, and proper part expansion. Wait until the temperature gauge climbs to at least a quarter. Let the engine build some heat first. Then go ahead and enjoy that hot air without hurting performance. Next time it's frosty out, resist the urge to blast the cabin like a sauna. Give the engine a head start before asking it to share. What's coming next might sound innocent, but it's way more damaging than you think. Mistake number 10. Too many short trips. Every time you start the car cold, moisture forms inside. That's normal. But when you shut it down too soon, that water vapor cannot escape. It lingers, settles, and mixes with oil. Now you've got watered-down oil trying to protect metal parts. Spoiler alert, it can't. Protection drops, wear goes up, and your engine pays the price. Worse, that trapped moisture reacts with leftover fuel and byproducts. Acid forms and corrodes your engine from the inside out. Over time, this eats away at bearings, rings, and internal seals. Short trips also mean the oil never gets hot enough to do its job. It stays thick, circulation stays weak, and critical parts don't get the lubrication they need. Let your engine warm up fully, then drive at least 10 to 15 minutes before calling it quits. Avoid one-block drives because your engine isn't a fan of half measures. Give it time to breathe, and you'll dodge some serious repair bills. You're not out of the woods yet. What some drivers do while standing still is worse than shutting down too soon. Mistake number 9. Letting the car idle for too long. When you idle too long, your engine doesn't get hot enough. It stays in that awkward lukewarm zone, just warm enough to burn fuel, but not hot enough to burn it clean. That means incomplete combustion and carbon buildup. Sticky deposits start gumming up your intake valves and spark plugs. Your engine chokes on its leftovers, and performance takes a hit. What's worse, you're wasting gas while sitting still. If you're driving a diesel, the risk is even higher. Diesel engines hate long idle times. Fuel can coat the cylinder walls, thin the oil, and quietly grind away your engine's insides. And once your oil gets contaminated with excess fuel, it loses its protective superpowers. So what's the sweet spot? On a chilly morning around 32 degrees Fahrenheit, let your engine idle for about 45 seconds. Just enough for the oil to hit the moving parts. If it's too cold, say below 15 degrees Fahrenheit, you can stretch it to 60 seconds. But that's your max. The moment you cross that line, you're punishing the engine. Keep it short, sharp, and smart. Then roll out gently and let the engine do the warming. Now let's talk about what's flowing inside your engine and why it could be all wrong. Mistake number 8. Using incorrect oil viscosity. Your engine depends on oil to stay alive. But when the temperature drops, not just any oil will do. Cold starts demand oil that flows fast, sticks well, and protects the engine. Use oil that's too thick, and it moves like sludge. It struggles to reach the top of the engine. Critical parts stay dry longer. That delay means more metal-on-metal wear during the most vulnerable seconds of startup. Now go too thin, and it's the opposite problem. It flows quickly, but can't handle heat or heavy loads. Once the engine gets hot, thin oil breaks down fast and stops protecting where it counts. That's why viscosity matters. It's not just about thickness, it's about how oil behaves in real-world temperatures. In winter, you need oil that stays fluid in the cold and is strong under pressure. Oils like 5W30 or 0W20 are made for this. They flow quickly during cold starts and stay stable when hot. Your engine gets the best of both worlds. We've scratched the surface. But now we're entering familiar territory, something almost every driver is guilty of. Mistake number 7. Immediately switching the accessories on during start. You want to make yourself comfortable, music on, seats warm, and headlights blazing. But if you fire up all your car's accessories before the engine starts, you're setting it up for a rough morning. Cold starts are already tough on your battery. It's working double time just to crank the engine and move thick oil through cold parts. Instead of focusing power where it matters, getting the engine running, you're draining the battery on comfort features. That delay can slow cranking, weaken spark, and strain the starter motor. Sooner or later, you shorten your battery life and risk a no-start situation when it matters most. Even after the engine starts, flipping everything on instantly throws extra load on a system that's still warming up. The alternator has to hustle to catch up, and the engine isn't ready for it yet. Let the engine come to life first, then ease into your comforts. Warm seats and music can wait, but your battery and engine can't. We've hit the juicy part where the real engine sins live. These next mistakes? Everyone's guilty at least once. Yep, even you. But before we spill the rest, tap that like button for more car truths and subscribe so you never miss a trick under the hood. Mistake number 6. Starting the engine and immediately revving it. When you turn the key, your engine oil is still sitting in the oil pan, thick and cold. It takes about 30 to 60 seconds for that oil to fully circulate through the engine and reach all the moving parts. Until then, metal components are running dry or barely lubricated. Now imagine what happens when you hit the gas during those first few seconds. You're forcing the engine to work harder while its parts are still grinding together without proper protection. This increases internal friction, which wears out pistons, bearings, and valves way faster than normal. That clicking or tapping noise you sometimes hear during a cold start? That's not harmless. It's a warning. Revving before the oil has a chance to do its job leads to long-term damage and expensive repairs. The smart move. Start the car and let it idle gently. Use that short window to buckle up, clean the windshield, or give the dash a quick dust. Give your engine a moment to wake up before putting it to work. It'll thank you with a longer life. We're just heating up. The next move feels fast and fun, but your engine hates every second of it. Mistake number 5. Driving aggressively right after starting. Punching the gas right after startup is like dragging a sleepy engine out of bed and throwing it into a marathon, dry, stiff, and totally unprepared. Pistons, bearings, and valves need a gentle start. Without warm oil, friction skyrockets, and the more friction means more wear. When metal expands unevenly under pressure, you're inviting cracks, warping, and serious damage. Imagine your engine as an athlete. You don't sprint out the door without a warm-up. If you do, expect pulled muscles, or in this case, blown gaskets. Aggressive driving also tanks your fuel efficiency. You burn more gas. You wear out your transmission. And for what? To get to a red light 15 seconds faster? Here's what smart drivers do. Start slow. Keep your RPMs low. Let the engine breathe and warm up. By the time you hit the main road, everything's ready to perform. Treat your engine kindly and stop such horrible driving habits that ruin your engine. It'll return the favor with fewer breakdowns and more money in your wallet. You've eased off the pedal, smart move. But now it's time to pop the hood and check something often forgotten. Mistake number 4. Ignoring coolant levels. Overheating can still happen in winter if coolant levels are low. Cold weather doesn't cancel engine stress. It makes it sneakier. Coolant keeps your engine balanced even when it's freezing outside. It helps spread heat evenly during warm-up and keeps metal parts from expanding unevenly. When coolant is low, your engine fights to heat up, creating hot spots that can lead to warping, cracks, or even a blown head gasket. You'll feel it too, with the sluggish performance and rough idling. Worst of all, your heater is blowing cold while you're freezing behind the wheel. Imagine walking in a snowstorm in flip-flops. That's what skipping a coolant check is like for your car. So before your next cold start, pop the hood. Check the reservoir. Look for the coolant sitting between min and max. If it's low, top it off with the right kind only. Not water, not random fluid. The right coolant for your engine. What happens when you try to top off your coolant the wrong way? Ice might just fight back. Mistake number 3. Using tap water instead of proper coolant mix. Some mechanics might tell you it's fine, just a top-up, or depends where you live. Don't fall for it. That advice is pure junk science. Using plain tap water in your cooling system is like sending your engine into battle with zero armor. It may seem harmless, but here's the truth. Tap water lacks antifreeze and essential corrosion inhibitors. That means rust, scale buildup, and internal damage over time. Worse, when temperatures drop, that innocent-looking water turns into an engine-killing ice block. As it freezes, it expands, cracking your radiator, hoses, or even your engine block. One icy night, and boom, your car's heart could split open. Even if it doesn't crack right away, ice can clog your coolant passages and choke the system before the engine warms up. That's why you should always use 100% proper coolant, no shortcuts. It's made to handle both freezing cold and extreme heat, and it protects your engine all year long. Forget the good enough to drink logic. Your engine doesn't need hydration. It needs real protection. Don't water it down. Give it what it deserves. Good news, you can beat the cold before you even start. Mistake number 2. Not using a block heater. Diesel engines rely on high compression and heat to fire up. In freezing temps, that heat just isn't there. The result is sluggish starts, thick oil, and insane pressure on your starter and battery. A block heater changes the game. It pre-warms your engine's coolant before you even turn the key. That means faster oil flow, easier cranking, and less metal-on-metal stress. The difference is instant. Your engine starts smoother, your battery works less, and that cloud of white smoke, it will be gone, or barely there. With a warmed-up block, oil flows faster, fuel burns cleaner, and engine wear drops like a stone. Best part, block heaters don't cost much, take little effort to install, and can be hooked to a timer. Set it and forget, so that while you sleep, your engine stays warm and ready. If you live where temps regularly dip below freezing, especially if you drive a diesel, don't ignore this. A block heater isn't a luxury. It's a cold weather lifeline. Plug in, warm up, and let your engine breathe easy. We're down to the final one. It's a tiny part, but when it stops doing its job, the damage is anything but small. Mistake number 1. Not replacing an aging thermostat. Your thermostat might be small, but it holds serious power over your engine's health. If your thermostat gets stuck open, your engine never warms up properly. You end up with poor fuel combustion, weak cabin heat, and engine parts that stay cold far too long. Over time, that leads to more wear, fuel burning, and sluggish performance. If it gets stuck closed, it traps coolant inside the engine, and when coolant can't circulate, temperatures rise fast, the engine overheats, and in the worst-case scenario, it seizes completely. Good thermostats use a wax element that expands and contracts to open or close the valve at just the right time. But after 50,000 to 100,000 miles, or if your heat feels weak in winter, it's time to check or replace it. A failing thermostat won't always trigger a warning light. That's what makes it sneaky. So don't ignore the signs: poor heat, fluctuating temps, or a stubborn cold engine. Stay ahead of it by replacing it on schedule and keep your engine breathing easy all winter. You've reached the secret stash bonus time. These next tips, they are rarely mentioned, seriously underrated, and exactly what your cold engine's been dreaming of while you sleep. Tip number 1. Don't park with the nose facing the wind. When your car faces into the wind overnight, that icy blast hits the grill and chills everything under the hood. Sure, the engine will cool down anyway, but with wind constantly blowing in, it gets even colder than it should. The radiator, engine block, and coolant lines stay icy for longer. By morning, your engine is nearly frozen solid. Cold starts get rough, making warm-up take longer. This makes your engine take the beating every single time. This isn't just about cabin comfort. It's about protecting your engine during those few vulnerable minutes after startup. Colder internals mean sluggish oil flow, uneven expansion of metal parts, and added strain on your battery and starter. Park with the rear facing the wind. Do whatever it takes to reverse into that spot. Angle the car differently, and don't let your engine face the breeze. Most drivers never consider this, but this tiny shift can make a massive difference. All right, your engine's no longer catching a cold while it sleeps, but the next move? It decides whether your car fires up or leaves you stranded. Tip number 2. Check battery health. As temperatures drop, battery power drops with it. Even a healthy battery loses around 30% of its strength at freezing temperatures, and up to 50% when it hits zero. If your battery is already weak, a cold start could push it over the edge. The engine needs more power to crank, and your sluggish battery can't keep up. That's when you get the dreaded click-click and a car that won't budge. It gets worse if your battery terminals are corroded. That crusty green stuff? It blocks the power flow and leaves you stranded when you need juice. The fix is easy. Pop the hood occasionally. Check for corrosion, clean the terminals, and test the battery voltage. If it's struggling to hold charge, replace it before winter worsens it. Don't let a $100 battery take down your $5,000 engine. Show it love, keep it clean, and give your cold starts a fighting chance. And just like that, you're almost winter-proof with your car. Avoid these mistakes, and you're already miles ahead. Now for the good news, your engine's best days aren't behind. Watch doing this will make your engine run like new again.